The world is a blurred canvas of white and gray. At Washington Dulles, Christmas lights struggle against a rising blizzard that feels less like weather and more like a warning. Among the thousands of travelers waiting in the terminal stands John McClane, a New York cop who has already paid his dues at Nakatomi Plaza, here not for business but for something far more personal, to pick up his wife, Holly, whose plane is due to land any moment. His breath hitches in the frozen air as he watches the arrivals board. There is no holiday joy yet, only the restless tension of a man who knows that normal is a fragile illusion. The shift from calm to violence is instantaneous. Deep in the airport's underbelly, amid the mechanical hum of conveyor belts, McClane intercepts a team of intruders. These are not street thugs or petty thieves. They move with a lethal, synchronized precision that McClane recognizes instantly. After a brutal, claustrophobic firefight in the baggage tunnels, McClane examines the body of a fallen attacker. The man is a ghost, a highly trained Special Forces soldier officially listed as killed in action years ago. McClane's instincts scream, this isn't a robbery. It's a military operation. While the terminal remained blissfully unaware of the storm unfolding beyond its glass doors, a secluded church at the edge of the airfield had been transformed into a cold, tactical command center where Colonel William Stewart, a disgraced ex-army commander with rigid ideology and no mercy, sat amid flickering screens and humming equipment. With a few deliberate keystrokes, Stewart severed the airport's tongue, slicing communication lines and plunging the control tower into deafening silence. The runway lights, the only guides for the hundreds of aircraft circling in the blizzard, winked out like dying stars, leaving pilots blind in a frozen sea of white. When Stewart's voice finally crackled through the static, it carried not a plea but an ultimatum. He was holding the sky hostage to secure the release of General Esperanza, a captured dictator being flown in for trial, and no plane would land until his demands were met. Far above, trapped in the freezing clouds with fuel dwindling and no beacon to guide them, one of those circling jets carried Holly McClane, her breath visible in the frigid cabin as dread tightened in her chest, unaware that the nightmare below was no accident but a meticulously calculated act of war. McClane refuses to wait for the bureaucracy to act. He attempts a desperate gambit to reach the pilots via a makeshift antenna, but Stewart's mercenaries strike with surgical efficiency. To crush the airport's spirit and prove his absolute control, Stewart commits a cold-blooded atrocity. He feeds false altitude data to a descending British airliner. McClane watches in horror as the plane, guided by a lie, slams into the runway. The horizon erupts in a pillar of fire. In that moment, McClane's grief crystallizes into a singular, burning resolve. Hope arrives in the form of an elite Army Special Forces unit led by Major Grant. But as the snow turns red with blood, McClane uncovers the final, sickening twist. Grant and Stewart are in league together. The protectors sent to save the airport are actually the architects of the nightmare. They aren't here to stop the escape, they are here to ensure it. McClane is outgunned, betrayed, and left for dead in a storm of blanks and deception. But the professionals made one fatal error: they underestimated the resilience of a cop who has nothing left to lose. In the dramatic finale, McClane battles on the wing of a moving Boeing 747 as it thunders down the runway for takeoff, fighting both the roaring engines and attacking mercenaries. Exhausted and wounded, he reaches the plane's fuel release valve, but is thrown off the wing and lands on the frozen tarmac. With defiant determination, he flicks his lighter and delivers his signature line, "Yippee-ki-yay, motherf *****. A trail of jet fuel, he ignites, races toward the aircraft, turning the 747 into a blazing fireball in the midnight sky. The explosion not only destroys the terrorists but also creates a fiery beacon on the runway, guiding other circling planes to land safely. As the first light of Christmas morning touches the charred remains of the runway, the blizzard finally begins to settle. The sirens no longer signal disaster, but relief. Battered and spent, McClane scans the crowd of survivors until he finds the one face that matters. Replaced by the warmth of a promise kept and a family reunited. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.